it. Keep the movement flowing. Relaxation and control. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, together. 1, 2, together. Very good. Lovely. Thank you. Well done. Same time next week. Your footwork really is impressive, Raymond.
Thank you very much, Susan.
I'm not honestly sure what you can be getting out of these classes. You're such an accomplished dancer already.
There's always room for improvement, no matter what your level, wouldn't you say?
I suppose so.
Besides, there's the added pleasure of good company. Yours especially, if I may say so.
Thank you.
Listen, I've been meaning to ask you this for ages. There's a police dance tomorrow night at Ashfordly. I wonder if you'd care to come along as my guest.
I'd like that very much. Thank you.
Right. Till tomorrow, then.
How do you mean you're bored?
Well, it's not exactly a new concept for me, Phil.
You're not bored with me.
No, don't be silly.
It's just that we girls like to be entertained, Phil.
Yeah, well, that costs money.
Oh, come on, Phil, you earn as much as I do.
Yeah, well, I must be spending a lot more. I mean, there's the new flat and its rent.
It's not that bad, is it?
Well, let's just say it doesn't leave me with as much to spend on certain people as I'd like.
So I suppose the next round's on me, then, is it?
Could you tell me your name, please, sir?
Richard Finlay.
Why didn't you stop? You must have seen me.
I'm sorry, I'm late for a delivery. Wasn't that much over the speed limit, was I?
Oh, I think we'll be the judge of that. Can I see your license, please?
Haven't got it with me.
Any other form of identification?
No.
Well, you'd better follow me down to the station, then. Hadn't you?
About time. I should have left half an hour ago. I'm sorry, Mr. Scripps. It's just that Mr. Vernon...
We had one or two domestic arrangements to see to its home.
Had to make his breakfast.
Home? Hope you're not forgetting it's still Claude Greengrass's place.
Oh, no. He's just a temporary lodger, aren't you?
Of course I am.
Right, well, I better get off to North Allerton.
Bit off your patch, isn't it?
Yes, but it's Maurice Barwick's funeral. He used to live in the village, moved up there when he retired. His widow won't have anyone bury him but me.
Well, don't you worry, brother of mine. While you're away, we'll have this place running like a well-oiled machine.
Yes.
Look, I don't know what the fuss is all about.
Well, then I'm obviously failing to make my point properly, aren't I, Richard?
What point?
First, you were over the speed limit. And second, you failed to stop when requested to by a police officer.
I've said I'm sorry.
Scripson?
Sorry, pal, he's popped up to North Allerton.
Blast! Well, what am I going to do? My car's broken down. I think the petrol tank may have ruptured. Oh, good morning, Lord Ashfordly. Scripps knows that Bentley better than anyone.
Lord?
Well, I just have to find another mechanic.
Just a minute, your lordship. Vernon Scripps. I'm Bernard's brother. I'm sure we can help you out.
Really? It's my niece's wedding in a couple of days, and I'm giving her away, so I have to have the car back by then.
Don't you worry. Actually, I'm a bit of a Bentley expert myself, you know.
What a relief. Excellent. And, of course, you'll be very well rewarded for your work.
Oh, service is the important thing to us Scripps. Now, where is the car exactly?
Mrs. Finlay.
Oh, Raymond.
What can we do for you?
It's about my son, Richard. His employer called me from the shop, said that you were holding him.
Really?
Oh, that'll be the lad on the speeding charge.
I see. I hadn't realised there was a connection.
Is he in serious trouble?
No, not serious, no, but there has been a bit of a problem.
Richard.
Mum.
What problem?
Well, he was caught speeding and didn't stop when requested to.
I have apologised, Mum.
And it's clear to us that his apology is sincere.
I should hope so too. So, what happens now? Will you be charging him?
Well, under the circumstances, no.
Thanks, Raymond. We're grateful.
No, there's no need for gratitude, Mrs. Finlay. We're just doing our job.
Well, until tonight then.
Indeed. Indeed.
Right. Who wants to be Lord Ashfordly?
Eh?
I do. Home, James, and don't spare the horses. Right, Alfred. Sit back and enjoy the ride.
Do you reckon there's anything in it, then?
Oh, judging how flustered Craddock was, I'd say definitely.
Well, he's been on his own for ages now. Good luck to him, I say.
Huntress, the registration number of Richard Finlay's van. You wrote it down incorrectly. First letter should be P, not B.
Well, it was moving at a fair old lick, Sarge.
Well, nevertheless, it's a mistake. Mistakes of such kind can be crucial, which makes this letter all the more relevant.
Sarge?
The Chief Constable has ordered that every serving officer should undergo a sight test. A doctor will be coming over from Ashfordly Hospital tomorrow to examine all of us.
Well, there should be a problem then, should there?
No. But if the eyesight of any of us should be found to be impaired to the extent of needing glasses, then the range of operational tasks we'd be allowed to carry out will be severely limited.
Does that mean that instead of being out and about in all kinds of weather, we'd be more or less confined to the station?
Exactly. You wouldn't want that to happen to you, would you, Ventress?
Oh, no, Sarge. Of course not.
Good. Because I have an assignment for you tonight.
Assignment?
Don't worry. I won't be sending you into the lion's den alone. You can take Bellamy with you for extra protection.
Oh, hello, Mr. Scripps. Oh, everything's fine. All right, right. So when are you gonna? Yeah, when are you gonna? Yeah, all right then. Yeah, bye. Look, it's Mr. Scripps. He's staying over in North Allerton for the night. It's Morris Barwick's widow. She's very upset and she's asked him to keep her company.
So when's he back?
What, he didn't say.
Well, what about the Bentley? Oh, brilliant. Well, there's only one thing for it, isn't there?
What's that?
We'll have to fix it ourselves.
What?
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Now, please take your partners for the foxtrot.
You really are very good, Raymond. In fact, you could teach me a few things about dancing.
If this is an attempt to make me stop coming to your classes, I warn you it won't succeed. Mr. Beckton?
Ah, Sergeant, that was very graceful indeed.
Thank you.
I think he may have been talking about your partner, Sergeant Craddock, not you.
Mr. Green, how are you?
Keeping very well, thanks.
Well, aren't you going to introduce us then?
Of course, I'm so sorry. This is Susan Finlay, my dance tutor. Susan, this is Oscar Blaketon, owner of the Aidensfield Arms. And James Green, magistrate and businessman.
Pleased to meet you, both of you.
We haven't seen each other for a while.
I think the last time must have been in court just before my retirement from the force.
Indeed.
Didn't expect to see you here tonight, Oscar.
Oh, well, we publicans do manage sometimes to get a few nights away from the pumps.
Well, it's nice to know there are other people here who aren't in the police. I was afraid I'd be the only one. Not there's anything wrong with the police, of course.
Excuse us.
Excuse me.
So, what exactly does Craddock suspect's going on here?
Well, there's been a report of underage drinking. There may be nothing in it. But as the place has only just opened, he thought we should want to check on it anyway. I can't see anything amiss, can you?
No. But I think I know why Craddock wanted me to come with you. You fancied having a go yourself?
You must be joking. You know what the rules are with police and gambling, especially on duty.
I've been known to have a flutter in the past, haven't you?
There's horses and cards. Yeah, I've learnt my lesson.
35 black.
Gambling's for fools.
I can't believe it.
I know. No, some people seem to be doing all right by it. She must have made hundreds there tonight.
She could just as easily have lost hundreds.
I haven't enjoyed myself so much in ages.
Nor me, Susan.
Your wife was a keen dancer then?
Very.
What happened?
Oh, we grew apart. And you?
He died.
I'm so sorry.
It was years ago.
Could there ever be anybody else?
Quite possibly.
Perhaps you'd like to do this again soon.
I'd like that very much.
I'll see you to the door.
Hey, Nicholas.
Mr. Blaketon?
What are you doing out here this time of night?
Oh, I've been to see me mate. What are you doing?
Well, I've been to a dance.
Oh, aye. Disco, was it?
Now go on, get off home. Your old man will be gunning for you.
It's you he's gunning for. Says he's going to thrash you at golf on Saturday morning.
Oh, aye. That's wishful thinking. And you can tell him I said so.
I will. Good night, Mr. Blaketon.
Good night.
I wonder who that can be.
That'll be how Nicholas forgot his key again, I'll bet.
Mrs. Fenwick?
Well, is he any better?
Well, we've stabilised his blood pressure and seen to all the superficial injuries. As yet, I'm afraid there's no sign of consciousness.
Isn't there anything you can do?
I'm afraid not. Look, it's awful, I know. But all we can do is wait.
Yes, that's after the second roundabout. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, superb. Fine. Bye now. Right, I've tracked down a Bentley specialist over in Scarborough. He thinks he might have a tank. Now, I'm going over there now. You get this stripped down and ready, OK?
Hey, don't you think we ought to phone Mr. Scripps?
What for? His lordship's got the wedding tomorrow. We can't hang around waiting for Bernie to come back, can we? Now, get out and get a move on and get rid of that flipping dog.
Everything all right, Doctor?
I'm afraid Nicholas is no better.
I meant you, not Nicholas.
It's been a long night. It's hard to imagine how people can do things like this, isn't it? Knock a child off his bike and just drive away.
Whatever the culprit was, I'm sure the police will pick them up pretty swiftly.
Yeah, the police said you were able to give a good description of the car.
Yeah, it was a cream-coloured Ford Anglia. Shouldn't be difficult to trace.
Morning, David.
Morning, Mr. Bradley.
Is Bernie around?
No, I was in Northallerton cheering up a widow.
Ah, I see. But you wouldn't know anything about the Ford Anglia around the back, would you?
Oh, yeah, a lady brought that in this morning. She said she wanted it fixing as soon as possible. Well, I told her about Mr. Scripps and said we'd do it as soon as he got back and, you know, you stick it round the back out of the way.
Did she give a name?
Oh, yeah, she, Oh.
No, Sarge, there was nothing obviously untoward happening at the casino.
Just the usual collection of fools, all too willing to be parted from their money.
Man, there was one woman who seemed to be raking it in.
Well, for every one of her, there'll be 20 others waking up this morning with sore heads and empty wallets, as I'm sure Ventress has pointed out to you.
Oh, quite, Sarge.
Ah, Bradley. Any news on the hit and run?
Yes, Sarge. I've been doing the rounds of the local garages. Someone brought a damaged Ford Anglia into Bernie Scripps' place this morning.
And does it match Blaketon's description?
Yes.
Good. Who does it belong to? Come on. Who does it belong to?
A friend of yours, Sarge.
Friend of mine?
Susan Finlay.
You sure?
Positive.
I see. Well, it must be a coincidence. I mean, apart from anything else, she was with me last night at the police dance. I gave her a lift home.
Well, you wouldn't mind telling me what time that was, Sarge?
Around 11.
Well, it's just Oscar Blaketon reckons Nicholas was hit at about 15:15.
Well, we'll obviously have to check it out.
Right, we're in luck. He happened to have a tank. Took him a while to find it, mind. What have you done?
Well, it's what you were saying about stripping the car down. It was a lot easier than I thought, actually.
You flaming idiot! And then take the tank out, not strip the old flaming thing.
I'm sorry, I thought you'd be pleased, Mr. Vernon.
Oh, heck.
Someone must have clipped the car in the night.
And you're confident the damage couldn't have been done before that?
I'd have noticed. The trouble is the lane's pretty narrow out there. There's nowhere else to park it.
Well, you were certainly very prompt in taking it down to Bernie Scripps's.
I was angry. I wanted it fixed right away. You don't really think it could have been me, Raymond? You were with me.
Quite. These are just routine inquiries, Susan.
No one else had the use of the car last night, did they? Your son, Richard, perhaps?
Richard was at home last night.
And the car was definitely here when you got back, was it?
Well, I can't say that I positively checked. But yes, I assume it was.
But if it's normally parked outside, it'd be difficult to miss it, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. I don't believe it was here, Susan. Perhaps we better have a word with Richard.
Yeah. Yes, I know it's overdue, Mrs. Dobson. Yes. Yes, I know. No. I promise I'll sort it out in the next couple of days. Yes. Yeah. Bye.
All right, Phil.
Yeah. Oh, she's my landlady. Just don't know how to wit her on. So, what time's the doctor due?
Oh, any minute now. It's Dr. Coates. He's generally pretty punctual.
Oh, you know him then?
Oh, for years. He's one of the old school. He's very kind-hearted.
Kind-hearted?
Well, I think if he had any doubts about my eyesight, he wouldn't want me to run risks any longer. If that's his prognosis, who am I to argue? Morning. What can I do for you?
More a question of what I can do for you. Dr. Summerby, SHO at Ashfordly General.
Oh, we were expecting Dr. Coates.
I know. First thing this morning, I'm told to report to ophthalmology because Dr. Coates is sick. Tomorrow it'll probably be brain surgery. So, who's first for the sight test?
I've told you I was at home.
All evening?
Yes.
Are you quite sure about that?
Yes.
Sergeant Craddock, my client has already been through all this. As far as I can see, you have no real case against him.
We're not trying to make a case as yet, Mrs. Bradley. We're just trying to establish the facts.
And the facts are, the only thing connecting him to the hit and run is that a car similar to his mother's was involved.
Well, there are other factors to be taken into consideration.
Well, such as?
Well, for a start, he was caught speeding yesterday and he refused to stop when requested to by Constable Bradley.
Well, that's not relevant.
We think it may be.
Well, I disagree. You have no evidence and no reason to doubt that Richard spent a quiet night in at home last night.
We don't exactly have any reason to believe it.
Why not?
As you know, Richard, I dropped your mother off at the house last night. There was no light on.
Maybe I'd gone to bed.
Maybe.
Well, I don't know, do I?
And your mother's car wasn't there.
If your mother wasn't in it, who was?
I don't know.
Does anyone else have access to the car?
No.
Then what other explanation could there be?
That it wasn't my mum's car that hit that boy.
There's paint on the car. It matches the colour of the bike exactly. How do you explain that?
Tell us the truth.
Richard?
All right. All right. I was out with some friends last night. I went in the car. But I didn't hit that boy. I swear.
And I thought I'd seen everything.
Well, I'm sorry, but the interview room's in use.
Don't worry. We junior doctors are used to improvising. Can you read the fifth line down for me?
E-C-T. Oh, was that O? T-H-C. Oh, I'm sorry.
When did you first notice there was a problem?
Well, it's been gradual, really. It's very unfortunate, but I put it down to overwork myself. You see, I've been on the front line of policing, as it were, for a very long time now. Maybe a change of role within the station.
Something a little more sedentary, perhaps?
Exactly.
Right. Let's try with these, shall we?
Eyes wet, please. Hi.
It's not your first time, is it?
Well, actually,
Don't worry. I'm a novice too.
yeah. You must have made a bomb last night.
Over £60.
Flipping heck.
So what's your lucky number?
I'm going.
I should go on a red number.
My red.
Just a feeling.
No more bets? 7 red?
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Don't thank me, the luck was all yours. So, you going to try again?
Take up your position in the courtroom now.
I hope you're very happy.
The situation isn't of my making, you must see that.
I don't see anything beyond the fact that my son Richard has been unjustly accused of something he didn't do.
We have no choice but to charge him.
Do you think that makes things easier for me?
No, of course not.
If that's what you think of Richard, what else do you think of me?
Well, my feelings for you haven't changed, Susan.
You know, it's what I've often thought.
What's that?
Well, things come to pieces easier than they go back together again.
Brilliant, David.
Thank you.
Do you know, I'm surprised Claude Greengrass didn't take you with him to the West Indies. Right. No other bits lying around, have there? Oh, well, that's it. Get in and see if it starts.
Morning. All ready, I trust?
Absolutely, your lordship.
Good. How much do I owe you?
Well,
50 cover it.
Oh, thank you very much.
Excellent.
Flaming heck, what a relief. I think a little celebration's in order.
Or a big one.
Now, let that be a lesson to you, David. Thoroughness. That's the secret of being a successful entrepreneur. Fortunately, it comes naturally to us Scripps.
So, Richard, tell me what happened when you left Ashfordly.
I dropped my mates off at their houses. Then I drove home.
Passing through Aidensfield on the way.
Yes,
And about what time was this?
around 11:15.
And were you aware of being involved in any kind of accident happening at that time?
No, I didn't hit that boy. I can't have done.
Or can I put it this way? If you did, you weren't aware of it.
No, I would have stopped. I know I would.
Thank you.
Phil! What are you doing here this time of day?
Just passing by. Thought I'd do a few routine checks, make sure there's no underage drinking and such like.
Come on, what do you really want?
I think you know the answer to that.
Phil, I'm busy.
Too busy to open this.
Phil? It's lovely.
Thought you'd like it.
How did you afford this?
Well, I was,
What with your rent and everything?
I was tidying some stuff away last night and found a building society book, you know, an account I opened a few years ago. Well, I forgot about it and there's quite a bit in there.
Well, it's really kind of you. But don't go spending any more of it on me, will you?
I'll try not to. Can't make any promises, though.
Come here. Oh, thank you.
My client admits that he was driving in the area at the time of the accident. He is even prepared to acknowledge that there may have been a collision between the car he was driving which caused Nicholas to be thrown from his bicycle. But the point is, he wasn't aware of it. Now, if the damage had been to the front of the car, it may have been possible to presume that my client had seen Nicholas on his bicycle. But as the police have acknowledged, the damage was to the rear of the car. We have heard from a witness, Mr. Blaketon, who apparently saw the car speeding away from the scene, but he didn't actually see it happen. Now, it's quite possible, and in fact I would say likely, that Nicholas himself approached the junction too fast, clipped the back of the car and was thrown from his bicycle, all without Richard's knowledge. Now, as you know, a driver cannot be deemed to have left the scene of an accident unless he knew that there had been an accident. I would therefore ask you to find my client not guilty as charged.
We've listened carefully to all the arguments in this case. And although there appears to be little doubt that the car driven by the accused was involved in the collision, it seems clear that he didn't know it had taken place. We therefore find you not guilty as charged.
Mr. and Mrs. Fenwick.
What happened?
Well, I'm afraid Richard Finlay was found not guilty.
You call that justice?
I'm really very sorry.
Jim, Sally. Pretty bad result, Bradley.
You think he was guilty?
Well, I think Richard knew he hit Nicholas, yes. But thinking it and convincing a magistrate are two separate things.
So that's it? The little devil gets off scot-free?
I'm afraid so.
I don't know what James Green was thinking about, letting him off like that.
He wasn't the only magistrate on the bench, Oscar.
No, but he was the one that mattered.
But nonetheless, the decision's been made and there's nothing more we can do now.
It's a matter of opinion.
Ah, Sarge. Any news on the eye test yet?
Not so far.
Oh, well, I suppose they'll come through in due course. I'll have to accept their results, whatever they are.
Even if they show your eyesight is not of a standard to allow you to remain in the force.
What?
No, if it's below the required standard, you could find yourself out of a job.
I hadn't actually thought about that.
Oh, dear.
Well, I'm sure that my eyesight can't be that bad.
Good. Well, let's hope Dr. Summerby's of the same opinion, shall we?
Ah, Mrs. Finlay, I'd like to speak to your son.
He's not here.
Not back at work already, surely?
With his friends, what's it to you?
What it is to me, Mrs. Finlay, is a teenage boy's in hospital fighting for his life. And your son...
My son was found not guilty.
There's legal guilt and moral guilt. Two completely different things.
And you think you're the man to be judge of either?
I might just be that.
I've nothing to say to you, Mr. Blaketon. Now, please leave us both alone.
Dr. Summerby.
PC of interest, what can I do for you?
My sight test. I was a bit stressed yesterday. I wonder, do you think you can redo it?
Come in.
Sarge, Mr. Blaketon would like a word.
What about?
Susan Finlay.
Would you like me to leave?
No, Bradley, I wouldn't.
How are you feeling? Nervous?
A little.
You look beautiful.
I don't know how to thank you, Uncle. It's all so perfect.
I'm afraid I fail to see any particular significance in the fact that James Green should have chosen to visit Susan.
On the same afternoon that her son appears before him in court.
For all I know, they could be friends.
It's quite possible. Perhaps even close friends. But do you recall the way they were at the police dance? They gave the impression they were complete strangers.
I fail to see what you're implying, Mr. Blaketon.
I'm not implying anything, Sergeant. I'm simply making you aware of certain information. And I trust you'll act on it.
But if the case is closed, Sarge, is there really anything we can do?
I think you know the answer to that, Bradley. I can't afford to let my personal feelings for Mrs. Finlay cloud the issue. If Richard got off because of some special influence Susan has over James Green, we need to look into it.
Yes, Sarge.
Find out if there's any connection, would you? I need to know the truth.
What's going on?
Well, you could just confront Susan and Green, couldn't you?
Well, I'd prefer to have something definite to confront them with first.
Well, maybe Green knows her because he attended her dance classes.
Wouldn't Craddock know that?
Yeah, I suppose so. Although she's pretty new to the area.
Any idea where they used to live?
York, apparently. Richard went to private school there. It was quite posh by the sound of it.
Well, how they afforded that? She couldn't have earned much being a dancing teacher. Funny though, eh? How he's ended up working in a shop.
Well, he won't be working there for much longer. He's got a job with an engineering company in Whitby.
Oh yeah? Which one?
Fraser's.
That's run by James Green. Thank you so much. I'll see you later.
She didn't mention Richard was going to work for Green's company to me.
Well, is there any reason she should have?
Perhaps not.
You want me to look into it further? Go to see Green?
No, I'll deal with this myself. Thank you, Michael.
Sarge.
I hold you personally responsible, Scripps.
I've just come from Northallerton.
I don't care where you've been. But if we are not at that church in 10 minutes, I shall sue you for the entire cost of a cancelled wedding. I can't get out, Scripps.
Hand to the left. To the left.
You've got 20/20 vision.
That's what Dr. Summerby says.
So, how come you failed the eye test in the first place, huh?
She thinks that I was probably a little bit tired. If you overwork when you get to my age, these things can happen.
Nice to know you'll still be with us, Alf, while we're patrolling out there in the wind, the snow and the rain.
With your 20/20 vision.
So, who's coming out for a drink then?
Oh, not me. Bit tied up.
What, too tied up to see Gina?
Yeah, flat needs tidying.
Is the landlady complaining again?
Yeah, yeah. Look, yeah, tell Gina I'll see you later.
All right, see you later.
Yeah. Night, Alf.
Good night.
No more bets. 4 black.
Dear, oh dear. I'm sorry, love. Perhaps you best start choosing your own number, sweetheart.
Perhaps.
Susan, could we speak?
Yes. I was on the point of calling you anyway. Come in.
Place your bets. No more bets? $13 black.
I'm sorry, love. Still, you can't expect to win every night. Oh, I best quit while I'm ahead, eh? Thanks.
Terrible myself.
I can see that.
I've lost a small fortune. Must be hand with the rent and Jimmy needed
Look,
it.
it doesn't matter why. You're not supposed to. If a copper gets into debt, he lays himself open to bribery.
Don't need a lecture, Alf. What am I going to do?
Just follow me. Mr. Haynes,
I might be.
are you the owner of this establishment?
Who's asking?
Let's just call it an informal visit. That money that you're handing over, is that your winnings from earlier?
It's none of your business.
Well, I think it may be. If you were found to have won unfairly, that you were here just to attract other impressionable punters.
Who says she won it unfairly?
In fact, if you were a stooge of the management, returning your winnings to them at the end of the evening...
That's not true.
You're quite sure?
I'm sure you can't prove it.
Well, maybe not. But if the gaming inspector should come round in the next few days, you better be sure that it doesn't happen. And you better be sure that your roulette wheel isn't rigged.
Of course it's not rigged.
Good. I'm pleased to hear it. Perhaps it was just a minor malfunction tonight. In which case, if anyone, like this young man that was sitting next to you earlier, should feel that he lost his money unfairly, you wouldn't object to him getting a full refund.
I wanted to apologise. What happened with Richard wasn't your fault. You were only doing your job.
I did try to explain that.
I was angry, worried for Richard. But I should have tried to understand your point of view.
Well, you understand it now. I'm grateful for that, at least.
And if you felt able to accept my apology, I'd really like to see you again. What is it?
If you'd asked me that earlier on today, I'd have said yes without any hesitation.
So, what's happened?
James Green. What was he doing at your house this afternoon? Don't deny he was here. I know he was.
It's a private matter, Raymond.
Not anymore, Susan. It can't be. If there's a relationship between you that influenced him in Richard's favour at the trial...
It's not like that.
What is it like? He's here at your house. You lied about knowing him at the dance. He's given your son a job.
James is Richard's father.
What?
We had an affair years ago, shortly after my husband died.
I see.
Richard doesn't know. He's always believed my husband was his father. James has been very good to us, looked after us financially. It was he who suggested we move nearer. There's nothing between us anymore, Raymond, beyond ordinary affection. James knew he shouldn't have sat on that bench today.
Nonetheless, I shall have to report it.
Yes. I'm really sorry for putting you in this position.
No, it's James has done that, not you.
Raymond, I meant what I said earlier about wanting to see you again.
I just don't see that's possible now, do you, Susan? Good night.
Night.
Do you think Richard could be tried again because of this?
I doubt it.
Well, at least the Fenwicks know why he was let off.
How is Nicholas, anyway?
Well, improving. Thankfully.
Phil, Mike said you wouldn't be in till later.
Change of plan.
So where have you been then?
Let's just say otherwise engaged.
OK, so be mysterious then. 2 pints, is it?
Yes, please.
No prezzies for me today then?
No, afraid not.
That little nest egg you found wasn't so big after all, eh?
No, it's quite small. Just enough to pay the rent, really.
Well, then I suppose I'll just have to make do with your scintillating company.
Good evening, brother of mine. I see you've managed to escape the clutches of the widow of Northallerton. Well, you're just in time to get around it.
I want a word with you.
Oh, aye, what about?
This. It's called a Jubilee clip.
I know what it's called, Bernard.
You forgot to put it back on one of the cooling system hoses in Lord Ashfordly's car.
Well, it's a mere oversight.
Try telling that to Lord Ashfordly. Richard Bentley broke down on the way to the wedding. Hand it over.
What?
The 50 quid.